Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 20-Minute Hop. I am Sean, and today we are going to be doing a little puddle jumping in Cessna 152 in Microsoft Flight Simulator, heading from Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin over to Oconto, Wisconsin. Oconto is a town in northeastern Wisconsin, around 30 miles north of Green Bay, and when I was a little kid, we lived there for a short time, and my grandmother is from there, and just a really great place, and a lot of great memories, and a lot of great friends that I made there, and actually finished up my private pilot training in Oconto and left for my check ride in Marshall, Wisconsin back in 1998 from Oconto. Looking at current conditions, Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, 48 degrees Fahrenheit, partly cloudy skies, and the short jump across Green Bay, Oconto, 42 degrees, and clear skies. Something I came across a couple years ago is you can get live aviation weather on your phone by texting, and I'll do it for you right here, 358782. And if you look on your keypad, that actually spells flight service. I have already got one here. I will show you how. So if we want the METAR, any airfield that has automated weather, you can get a METAR for it. Type M, identifier, Kilo Sierra Uniform Echo for Sturgeon Bay. And I'm just going to send this one. Okay, so it came back with the identifier, the time of the report, automated weather. There's the winds. 240 at 8, visibility 10 statute mile, currently scattered clouds at 5,500 feet, temperature 09, dew point 07, altimeter 2976. The remarks, what type of automated station, and then it gives sea level pressure. So let's do Oconto over here, M, let's see Q for Oconto. Oconto, generated on the 29th day, 1055 Zulu, automated weather, 260 at 6. 10 statute miles visibility, clear. Got a potential for fog there. Okay, when we have a temperature and dew point spread is right on. If it's calm winds, there is a risk that fog could happen at any time. Altimeter 2976, there's the remarks that it's an AO1. And you can look up the difference between an AO1 and an AO2. One that basically is that it can detect visible moisture and the other one can't. And I will put that in the show notes of what an AO1 is and an AO2 is. One last thing with the flight service text app. If we just type OCQ in, so we get this little helper right here that explains the features of this product. Leidos Flight Service provides pilot weather briefing, and they are a government contractor. They work under the FAA to provide flight services and pilot services in the United States. I will put that link in the show notes as well there. One thing I was going to show you is, if you're not familiar with your METAR codes, you can type PT. PT is for plain text. So if we do plain text, it takes a moment because it's generating. So it actually gives it to you in plain language, and so you have that option as well. So a very handy tool for flight simulation enthusiasts to increase realism in your flight simulator. For pilots, though, a great tool if you're at an airfield that doesn't have good cell phone signal. You can get your weather by texting flight service. Let's get the scratch pad going here, and we will talk about what we got going on. All right, here we are on the scratch pad. Originally, we planned to do this on the 23rd of September. We are the 29th today, Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin to Oconto, Wisconsin. 21-mile flight. Estimated time en route is 11 minutes. And we got our information for Door County and our information for Oconto Bay. Oconto's got a grass strip for only 422, but we will shoot for the paved surface because we are going to be flying this at sunrise. And don't want to go flying into a grass strip when we have not the best visibility. Closing over at 6,500, we may go lower. Point is that we'll be crossing 8 miles of open water, and we want to maintain enough altitude that if we had engine problems that we could, in worst case scenario, if the engine failed, we could glide to shore and to a safe place to put the airplane down without having to ditch in the water. The other aspect is that by FAA regulations, if you are flying beyond power off glide distance, meaning that if you lost your engine, you could not glide to shore, then you need to carry a life raft on board. So short jump from Sturgeon Bay to Oconto, we do not want to have to carry a 40 or 50 pound raft in the Cessna 152 and get adequate altitude so that worst case scenario, we can glide to the Oconto side of Green Bay, or we could do a 180 and glide back to the Sturgeon Bay side. The traffic pattern for Oconto is 1604, And there are our callouts, 500, 200, and 100. Alright, here we are on the ramp in Sturgeon Bay, looking quite beautiful as the sun's coming up. And it looks like those clouds have pretty much cleared out. So the scattered clouds that we were talking about in our METAR seem to have dissipated, and we will get the aircraft going here and on the way to Oconto. Alright, we'll run down the blue card real quick. Is this flight necessary?
Flight necessary, yes or no?
Yes, it is.
Who is in charge?
I'm the
Specify.
pilot in command.
All hazards identified, yes or no?
So we'll pause right
Should the
there.
flight be stopped?
All hazards identified. We talked about our cruising altitude across Green Bay. Otherwise, weather is good, and I don't foresee any other hazards.
Should the flight be stopped due to conditional changes, yes or no?
So conditional changes are breakdowns in communications, weather, any kind of confusion happening in the cockpit, or the situation in flight, turbulence, any kind of personal items that come up, and conflicting priorities. And yes, if any of these things happen, I'm going to take action to get the aircraft on the ground and sort things out. The main point there is that we don't want to sort things out in the air because our first objective is to fly the airplane. We'll do what we can do to mitigate things in flight, but if it's starting to tax us and steal our focus away from the flight, the only smart thing to do is to divert and put the airplane down.
Should the flight be stopped due to conditional changes, yes or no?
We will say yes.
Is there a better way to execute, yes or no?
None that I can tell.
Overwhelming sense of urgency, yes or no?
No, there's not.
Are your actions justified, yes or no?
Yes.
Is there an escape route, yes or no?
Yes.
Any rules being broken, yes or no?
No.
Are communications becoming tense, yes or no?
No.
Deviations from assigned flight operations, yes or no?
And
Checklist complete.
yes, if we need to deviate from assigned flight operations, we will do so to maintain the safety and completion of this aircraft and the flight.
Aircraft type, briefed.
Cessna 152.
PIC responsibilities, briefed.
As the pilot in command, it's my responsibility to carry out all flight responsibilities and the safe passage and operation of the aircraft. Emergency responsibilities as pilot in command, I'll handle all emergencies. In the worst case scenario, event of which is an engine failure, we're going to maintain best glide and look for a suitable place to put the airplane down. If we do reach our cruising altitude of 6,500, that gives us lots of opportunities. With a 10-to-1 glide ratio, we can get quite far based on that.
Emergency responsibilities, brief, seat belts and shoulder harnesses, operation and required use.
All right, from startup, taxi, takeoff, climb out, we're going to have our seatbelt and shoulder harness on. Once we arrive, or we're coming into our destination area, once we get close to Oconto, we're going to put that shoulder harness and seatbelt back on, and we'll need that for landing and taxi to the ramp. In order to operate, insert the flat metal tab in the buckle. In order to release, lift up on the top plate and separate with your shoulder harness, crosses above in front of your chest, and there's a notch on top of the buckle. So you just clip your shoulder harness in there, and then your shoulder will be secured.
Belts and shoulder harnesses, operation and required use, doors and windows.
All right, so you can see here, we have two doors in this aircraft, one on my side, one on the passenger side. To open the door, simply pull on the lever. To open your window, rotate the lever, and the window will slide out. If you need ventilation, the window can be opened at any time. to provide more airflow into the cabin.
Seats adjusted and locked.
They are.
Smoking rules prohibiting.
No smoking in the aircraft or around the
Environmental
aircraft.
controls, location and operation.
Okay, so for ventilation, right here our thermometer is also our air vent. To get airflow on the passenger side, you simply pull that out and rotate it. I have one on my side as well. And we do have a heater in the aircraft. Since it is 48 degrees out, we might use the heater this morning. We will get the aircraft running and we'll take care of that as needed. In order to get the air, simply pull that and airflow will start into the cabin.
Environmental controls, location and operation. Oxygen, normal and emergency use.
We do not have oxygen on the flight today.
Passenger discomfort, what to do?
If passengers feeling uncomfortable or queasy, simply just tell me, and I usually have air sick bags in my flight bag. Make sure that you have one. And other than that, just let me know if you're having any kind of physical or emotional feelings, and we can put the airplane down if we need to. Bottom line is the passenger's comfort is of the utmost care and concern. It doesn't make for an enjoyable experience if the passenger is not feeling good. In
case of fire extinguisher location and operation.
So for this aircraft, we do not have a fire extinguisher. In the event, in the worst case scenario of a fire, I'm going to pitch the aircraft forward to get as much airflow over the engine, hopefully getting that fire out. Also going to pull fuel and shut off the fuel so that we don't have that source. Also going to kill all electrical as well. And we'll look for a suitable place to land.
Brace positions. Seat braved.
Okay, for brace positions, it's really important to use our shoulder harness when we're coming into land. And then the other part is that we just want to protect our face because of the windshield in front of us. And so the biggest part for brace positions is having that shoulder harness across our chest when we're coming into land. And then providing whatever way we can to prevent our head from hitting the instrument panel and protecting our face from the plexiglass windshield.
Emergency evacuation plan. Describe.
So coming into landing, for that emergency landing, we're going to open our doors just to crack them so that if we touch down and the frame gets bent, that doesn't prevent us from getting out of the aircraft. The window is also an emergency exit, so if the door does not open for whatever reason or it gets jammed, you can open that window and kick it out. And then once we exit the aircraft, we're going to basically go on a diagonal towards the tail, between the tail and the wing, about a 45 degree off the door, 45 degree angle off the door. And then 100 feet back, we will meet right off the tail, so directly after the airplane, we'll meet 100 feet away.
Emergency survival kit, location and contents.
So if you're really flying, I would have the emergency equipment behind us, behind the seats in our cargo compartment, and brief what is in the survival kit.
Other equipment, location and operation.
And don't have anything to say about
Stereo
that.
cockpit expectations. Traffic.
So stereo cockpit expectations really comes into play when we are in the airport environment. We're about to taxi out, take off, coming into land, touching down on the runway, and then taxiing to the ramp. What stereo cockpit means is that we only talk about the things that are pertinent to the safety and operation of the airplane in that environment. Once we get to cruise flight, it's completely fine to have a conversation, chat about things, talk about things we're seeing on the ground. But the next point is traffic, and we're always going to be looking out for airplanes that might be around us. So from a talking standpoint, if anyone sees anything, we're going to talk about it. And if we need to point out traffic, we're either going to just say, I see an airplane, it's off to the right, or you can use a clock position. When you're looking at the face of a clock, if the airplane was, if the traffic was in front of us, we would say 12 o'clock. If it was behind us, we would say 6. If it was to our right wing, we would say 3 o'clock. And if it's to the left wing, we would say 9. Bottom line is, do what you feel comfortable with. And also when it comes to talking in the airport environment, there will be times that I need to make a radio call. So if we're having a chat or something, I'll just put my hand up and I'll make the radio call, and then we can continue on from that point. Lastly, as passengers, is there anything that you'd like me to go over again, or do you have any questions about what I briefed? All right, passenger brief complete. All right, it's just running through the pre-flight inspection items. Now we'll get into the before starting engine checklist.
Seats, seat belts and harnesses. Adjust and lock.
They are.
Fuel chute-off valve on. Radios.
Fuel chute-off valve is on.
Radios. Electrical equipment off. Brakes. Test and set.
Holding the brakes.
Circuit breakers. Check in.
They are in.
Checklist complete.
Starting engine checklist. Hubs 2.2 Cat 2. Mixture rich carb heats.
Mixture rich. Carb heat.
It's cold.
Cold. Prime as required. Throttle open 1/2 inch. Throttle open 1/2 inch. Propeller area clear. Master switch on. Lights on. Ignition.
Clear prop. Start time 6:47. I'm going to turn Puddle on just because it's a little bit chilly this morning.
Throttle 1000 revolutions per minute less. Oil pressure check. Check is complete.
Oil pressure's improved. 2.7. Apparently it's told which is the best runway here, so we'll go with it. Call taxi time. 6:53. 2.08, so we will take off all runway 20. Freaking vehicles.
Approaching runway 10. Runway 10, 2,500 feet remaining.
For the one up rather. Alright, throttle's 1,000. We'll take our checklist.
Parking brake. Set.
Holding the brakes.
Cabin doors. Closed and latched.
Closed and latched.
Flight controls. Free and correct.
Good on the left. And back. Good.
Flight instruments. Set.
Altitude. 2976.
Fuel chute-off valve. On.
It's on.
Mixture. Rich.
And it's
Elevator trim. Takeoff.
set for takeoff.
Brakes. Hold. Throttle. 1,700 revolutions per minute. Magnetus. Check.
Continue. Alright, drop. Oh. Slight drop. Impact both.
Carb heat. Check. Engine instruments and ammeter. Check.
Good.
Suction gauge. Check.
Amperes charging. Sections in
Radios.
green.
Set.
Back to label. The voltage light is good. Carb heat on. This is what I mean by low voltage light right here. Red light. Radios are set.
Radios. Set. Beacon nav strobe lights. On as required.
Look at that before taking the runway.
Throttle. 1,000 revolutions per minute.
Set.
Throttle friction lock. Adjust.
Set.
Brakes. Release. Checklist complete.
Checklist complete. And normal takeoff will be wing flaps 0, carb heat cold, throttle full open, elevator lift at 50, rotate at 55, and climb speed will be 75. But you're departing runway 20. It'll be a normal takeoff. Again, airspeed rotate at 55. Departure procedure will just be a right turn out to the west. Engine failure on takeoff roll. Looking at the airport environment. Runway 20. We got that nice long. We got this nice long area for runway safety zone, and then these farm fields here. So if we're below 700 feet and we lose the engine, we will just maintain best glide at 61 and prepare to set the airplane down in a nice open area, clear of obstructions, clear of buildings. If we lose our engine above 700 feet, we're going to maintain 61 knots and we'll do a 180 return to the airport. expect that we might not be able to make the runway, but we can at least set it down somewhere on the airfield in the event in that situation.
Way, breathed. Takeoff, normal short felt soft field. Airspeeds, rotate liftoff climb out VY.
Yep, we'll be climbing out at VY 75.
Departure procedure, breathed.
Right turnout, like I said.
Engine failure on takeoff roll. Abort to fee off apply brake stop. Engine failure below 700 feet MSL. Best glide landing options. Engine failure above 700 feet MSL. Best glide return to airport. Note time. Breathed. Lights. Entering runway I environment ALL on. Checklist complete.
Alright. Okay, here we go.
Approaching runway 20.
Door County traffic. Cessna 45981 departing runway 22 to the west, Door County.
Runway 20. 4,500 feet remaining.
Takeoff time 7:05. Here we go. Oh. Jeez. Airspeed's alive, engine sweeping green. That. So pretty funky.
925.
Sorry, I got distracted there. Flight simulator frequencies do not match the real world frequencies, and so that's annoying. 6,500. Our range shows definitely enough power off glide distance that we could make it back to Sturgeon Bay. Coming up on 6,500 now. There's El Canto out there. Just beautiful. Sorry for the distraction there. Time to start our descent. What kind of big traffic? Cessna 45981. This is Cessna 152. 8 miles to the east. 5,500. Correction, 4,500. Landing El Canto. And what we're going to do is just basically get back on our route here. Overfly the town, get our stretch back real fast. Traffic pattern 1600, so we'll descend down to 2100. Way over speed. Down. So there's the airport right there. Kind of traffic. Cessna 459 or 81 is 4 miles to the northeast. Inbound on the 45 for runway 29 Ocala. There's the golf course. That's where I went to church. That's where my grandmother used to live. Right there. I used to work over here at Cruiser's Yachts. No longer there. Common traffic, Cessna 459 or 81, 2 mile 45 for runway 22, correction 29 Ocala. Look at the road traffic pattern now.
Belt and shoulder harness. Adjust and lock. Mixture. Rich. Car key. On. Checklist complete.
Full flats. What kind of traffic? Cessna 459 or 81, left base runway 29, full stop Oconto.
60-70 Caius. Wing flaps, as desired. Airspeed, 55-65 Caius.
Traffic system 459, you're at 1, turning final, runway 29, full stop O'Connell. 200. Correction, that's 300 there. Alrighty, crap. Final there. Kind of traffic system 459 right one, back taxi you 1829 O'Connell. Yeah, from right here, they've done a really good job. That looks, I mean, this is just AI, right? This is AI generated airport, but yeah, it looks really really realistic. Of course, the hangars now are looking like homes, which was also what happened at Nicolay. But where the beacon is at and just the situation at the airport looks very realistic. And I haven't been there in, gosh, can't even tell you how many years it was. It's been since I was in O'Connell. Early 2000s. O'Connell traffic system 45981, clear the active O'Connell. Checklist. Carb heat cold, flaps up. Stroke is off. It's a good line. Someone's going to marshal me in. There are no ground handling services at Oconto. Alright, shut down checklist. Parking brake set, rear electrical clearance.
Ignition switch, off. Master switch, off. Control lock, install. Checklist complete.
Off, off, off. Up. Alright, that concludes our flight.